Oh, here we go. Starting, it's all right. Here he is, just running in, just in the nick of time, just as we're starting the first Into Extra Time show. I'd like to welcome my panel of guests. We've got Stephen from Geordie Talk, who is a living legend in the YouTube world now. Loads of people know him across YouTube.
Twitter title.
You can quote me on it. Mate. And then we've got BC Blink 180 on the right, who actually looks like he's on a bit of a green screen at the moment with that board behind you. But as you can tell, he's into his darts. So, quick introduction to our guest. Well, we're supposed to have Andy on as well. I don't know if he's going to join us a little bit later on if he's struggling to get on. He is based in Sardinia. So I don't know what the internet's like there. I don't know if he's struggling to connect, but hopefully he'll be able to join us later on, boys. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah. It's anyway. So for guests that don't know what this is, we've got Stephen from Geordie Talk. So make sure you add him. Do you want to tell us a bit about you, Stephen?
Well, I've recently dabbed into the world of YouTube podcasting, like yourself.
Yeah. Quickly adapted.
Yeah.
You put out a lot of content at the moment.
Yeah, I've done 9 videos so far. I mean, I'm getting it out there. I want to do another live video before the end of the year, like just.
If you haven't seen it, get on at Stephen NUFC on Twitter or Geordie Talk on YouTube. Get subscribed because he's releasing amazing content. Yeah.
Thank you.
Next. No, it's good, mate. You keep doing what you're doing. Next, we've got the man on the right, BC Blink 180.
All right.
Yes, tell us about you.
Yeah, so my name's actually Brad, not just BC Blink 180, but massive darts fan, massive football fan. I'm all talk. Anything sports I can do with.
All right, big talk then. So we're expecting big stuff from you. I see Andy's trying to get connected here. Right, so Brad is actually a massive Chelsea fan, and he is a darts player, darts extraordinaire, as you can see by the dartboard in the background. First most important question that you'd always ask is why Chelsea?
Well, not that I'm a glory seeker, but in 2003, that's pretty much when I started supporting them. So, but it was mainly for Frank Lampard, to be honest. Shared the same birthday with me. So,
that's interesting.
Little fact for you. But yeah, literally just from that point, kind of fell in love with him. Obviously, there were the glory days, not so glory now, but.
We'll see how much you love him later, son, because I've got a couple of questions lined up about Frank Lampard and see if we'll catch you out. Right, I'm going to add Andy in. Hello, Andy.
Yeah.
This is
Can't
Andy.
hear me,
Can you hear me? No, he's trying to get his sound sorted. We'll just keep going. So that is, Stephen and Brad, and we've got Andy Hislop that's just joined us. This is Andy. He lives in Sardinia. And to be honest with you,
hear me because I can't hear you.
I can hear you, Andy.
I can't hear you.
He's done a me before the show. I muted my mic. Andy's actually from Sardinia. Can anybody tell me where Sardinia is? Brad, Stephen.
I can't hear them. I think they can hear me.
I got a clue Sardinia is.
I had the same. It's an island just off of Italy. It's an Italian island. And it's the home of Cagliari.
Oh, Cagliari.
I
set it up because the fire's on and it's nice and warm.
Can you hear us?
I can't hear you, but I know you can hear me because I can see you nodding.
Right, okay. Anyway, this is our panel. We'll let Andy try and sort those out. What I'll do is, I'll keep him in and hopefully he'll not make too much noise, or I may just have to bang him and exclude him from everything until he sorts his microphone out. Right, so first things first, okay. When Andy gets on, I'll introduce him a little bit better. I wanted to talk about
Mm-hmm.
the Newcastle Liverpool game.
They can hear me, but I can't hear them.
No, we'll start with it. Right, I'm going to kick him out for now.
I don't
Right,
know.
1 second, Andy. Right, he's still on the stream, but I can add him on later once he sorts it out. Right, Newcastle Liverpool. Straightforward. You'd think this is going to be a Liverpool win. Do you think? What are your first thoughts, Stephen?
Yeah, 100% Liverpool win. Can't say he's getting anything out of this game either. I mean, I was on the podcast yesterday, like a Liverpool fan podcast, Dugout Football Show, and he asked for my prediction, and that's it. Pretty much it. Even the other Newcastle fans said we're not going to get anything out of it. We just got to write it off with the front line Liverpool have, and even with the defensive injuries they've got. They're still going to have too much for Newcastle, I reckon. So I'd say 3-1 Liverpool. Yeah. That's my guess.
You think we'll score? You think we'll get a goal then?
Sorry.
I think we'll get one goal. I think we'll get one.
You think we'll get one? Interesting. What was it like? Anyway, Steve, what was it like being on the Liverpool out podcast on?
It was good, yeah. But he was wanting Newcastle fans just to jump on and just have a quick preview of the match tomorrow night, and they introduced us to each other. He's like based in Scotland. He's like a Liverpool fan and like a Livingston fan as well. So
all right,
opposite ends of the spectrum. So it was good. It was only on half an hour, but I enjoyed it. So I'd definitely go on again if I was asked. So.
Great opportunity. It's good that if you think how short a time you've been doing YouTube, like your YouTube account, to be getting recognition and asked to come on shows from Liverpool supporters is spot on, Stephen.
Yeah.
Brad, BC, what are your thoughts?
I can't see anything other than a Liverpool win, if I'm honest with you. Obviously, I've been having a look at some of the stats, which I'm sure we'll talk about soon, but it's not looking good for Newcastle, I don't think. Going into it, current form, previous games, everything like that, I can't see anything other than a Liverpool win. I'm going 4-0.
4-0. What would you say if it was Chelsea-Liverpool? Being a Chelsea fan.
Going off current form, depends on who Lampard picks. I would imagine it would be a 2-1 Liverpool at the minute, though.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Well, looking at the lineup, I had a little look. Liverpool, the predicted lineup anyway, will start with Salah, Mane and Firmino up top. They'll have predicted Henderson, Wijnaldum and Chamberlain in the middle. And then, because they've got issues with their defence, which, Stephen, this is why you might be right where we get goal. They've got that Williams and Fabinho in defence. Not that there's anything wrong. Fabinho's done a great job. Matip's injured. So you've got Williams in, Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right and Robertson on the left, which we all know how dangerous they can be. But I just think sometimes when you introduce them, because Williams is only a young lad, I think introducing him does give an opportunity to get a goal. And it might be in the form of another Callum Wilson penalty, in fact.
Yeah, I would go along with that, yeah.
What, just out of that team, just out of curiosity, so you've got Mane, Firmino, Salah, Wijnaldum, Henderson, Chamberlain, Robertson, Fabinho, Williams, and Alexander-Arnold. Are there any of the full squad, full strength of the weren't injured Newcastle team that you would put in that Liverpool side?
No, I wouldn't.
Not even ASM? Alanston,
Yeah, he'd be on the bench, I reckon. He wouldn't start ASM. He'd be on the bench.
You start Callum Wilson over Firmino?
Yeah. I'm not keen on Firmino. I mean, since he's been knocking goals in, but I'm not keen on him. I like Callum Wilson better for what he does for the team. Runs in behind, holds the ball up, scores goals. What more do you want?
Definitely, I know exactly that. I think in terms of what he can add to a game, I can't really say anything other than that. But recent form, they've just drew with West Brom 1-1. My worry with Liverpool is whenever they have a defeat or a draw, they come into the next game with more aggression and more determination to win. They then 7-0 against Crystal Palace, and then the 2-1 win against Spurs. Whereas with Newcastle United, it's an absolutely sorrow tale. Actually, looking at previous games, I didn't think 2-0 was too bad against Man City. Did you watch the game, Stephen?
No, I didn't watch it. I wasn't going to watch it anyway because I thought we were going to get a right battering. I thought, like I said in your predictor, I thought it was going to be 5-0 or something like that.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it. I knew what was coming, and Carl Dallow had another great game. It wasn't for him, we were probably lost 5-0. I mean, Matt Longstaff played well as well. Just like I said, I didn't watch it because I knew what was coming, so it'd been a waste of time.
yeah. I was exactly the same, to be honest. When I first put it on, I thought there's no point. But every time I did, I just had it on at the side and I kept looking across. And every time I did look, it looked like Newcastle were putting those attacks in at times, and we got ourselves into more dangerous positions than I would have expected, especially, I think, given the last performances against Man City where they put loads of pressure on us. My issue is why the team selection was like he'd written the team off, starting Joe Linton like by himself, and then Matty Longstaff, for example, and then Yedlin in right back. They're players that, to me, is like if early in the cup where you're like, oh, it doesn't really matter, we'll hopefully get through. Or against teams where you're just writing up a win, and then we end up playing. Like, I just can't help thinking, what if we played a stronger squad straight out? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So, yeah, that's their most recent results. That's their predicted team. For you, Stephen? What team? Andy, can you hear us yet? Andy's got his mic muted.
Because I think you've muted him. I think.
There, try now. Can you hear us, Andy? It won't let me unmute it. Well, Andy, you're a silent man. You're a silent participant. We'll play charades later. Just have a game of charades. Tell us what you're trying to say, Andy. Right, what team, Stephen? What team would you put out if you were Steve Bruce? What team would you put out against?
Well, I don't want to be Steve Bruce anyway, but I'll go for the team I'd put out.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll go. Obviously Darlow. Maybe.
Right, now can you hear us?
Yes, we can, Andy.
Maybe Yedlin. Clark, Lascelles. No, Clark. Fernandez, sorry.
Yeah.
And Lewis or Richie, whichever way he wants to play.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Andy, we can.
Yeah.
I can't hear you still. It's gone off again now. I could hear you before. Now you can hear me and I can't hear you. I don't understand what's wrong with that one. Like, it's a shame because I was looking forward to this debate.
Hopefully you'll get it right. Go on,
especially with my wife being a Liverpool supporter.
Oh, she as well.
Imagine.
I'll see if I can leave a comment if Andy will be able to say it.
Right. When I came in, I could hear these lads. Then I put that mic in.
Take the mic out.
Yeah, but they can't hear me when I take the mic out.
I'm gonna show the comment.
So.
Andy, get your wife on.
Andy, get your wife on. The last time I had at St. James's, the beat was 6-0. So, I was saying, sit on your hands, don't get up and cheer. Right.
Right.
I'm sorry, lads. I don't appear to be able to get this to work properly.
No,
yeah, cheers, James.
Tell them you get on after the match.
Yeah.
Right, there we go. I've dropped him. He's not coming back.
Right.
Right. Predicted lineup then. You've got Darlow. You said Fernandez. You said Clark. Right back was Yedlin. Left back.
Either Richie or Lewis, I would say. One of the two. I'd say Miggy Shelby, Matty Longstaff. Who was the players on the, I would have said Fraser, but he's injured, isn't he?
Actually, what do you think of that, Fraser? And
I'm gutted again, man.
it's injured. Is it not a coincidence that they're now injured? Alan St-Maximin's injured, even though he's just been away and with a suspected non-illness. You know, like he said he was fine on camera on Instagram.
His Instagram, yeah, he should come on there, didn't he?
Steve Bruce he said there's no issues with Steve Bruce, and then before he's getting back into playing, he's got another injury again. Just doesn't add up with me.
He just come back from a serious hamstring injury, Fraser, and he's out with a groin injury. What the hell are they doing at the club to get so many injuries all the time?
Yeah, great.
It's a Stone Age training facilities they have. I mean, you look at what Leicester's just built there. It's fantastic.
Oh,
just
you're right.
think what Newcastle could have had if we had this takeover. They'd have spent millions on the training ground to get it up to standing, because up to now it just non-existent. I mean, using paddling pools, they get the mick taken out of with like sitting in ice wheelie bins and paddling pools.
Do you know, it's funny you say that. I saw a picture, you know, Arsenal Football Club actually use wheelie bins as well. They do. I think a lot of people probably don't think they would, but yeah, they use wheelie bins. Right. So I don't really want to ask Brad about the Newcastle lineup, being a Chelsea fan. And
I wouldn't know too much.
Player. Brad, do me a favour. For me, I'll quickly tell my lineup, and I'm going to ask you a bit about darts.
Yeah.
For me, I'd probably go similar. I'd say Darlow in goal, right back. I'm not sure who we've got available at the moment. I'd imagine it would have Crafton. Crafton filling me with hope, and Yedlin's clumsy. And I can imagine I can see Yedlin giving away a penalty.
Anyway,
I would. I don't know. I'm guessing he's injured. But
I'm sure he is.
First game is good.
I'd say if we have to, Yedlin, and then Fernandez in the centre, Clark again, because Clark had a good game. Clark's not been too bad. I'd then say left back, I'd say Richie. This is in my last video. This is exactly what I said. I said against big teams, if you're playing Richie on the right, he doesn't have the legs for it. He can't get back. He can't be playing that high up. So he'd be better you'd be better in a left back position. Put in Murphy on the right, Amron on the left, Shelby and Matty Longstaff in the middle. I'd then put I'd go for it, and I'd put Callum Wilson and Joe Linton up front, because I don't think Liverpool would expect it. No, nobody likes Hendrick.
No, do not. No,
Newcastle fans do not like him. You're saying this to wind me up. I know it. You're trying to get me to bite straight away.
I'm not honestly.
He knows.
I thought, obviously, I don't watch Newcastle, but from what I've seen of him, he looks like a good player. I could be wrong. I don't watch the game.
You've been watching Newcastle very much. He is dying.
I think you need glasses, pal. He's wondering why he hasn't hit a triple 20 in a while. It's because he needs glasses and he thinks that's Hendrick. Right, spot on. Right, Brad, what's going on in the world of darts at the moment then?
Oh, quite a lot. It's on at the minute. That's why I keep looking away. Apologies if you see us do that. But yeah, so much going on. Obviously, it's the World Championships at the minute. Biggest games of the year, biggest tournament of the year. It's the one everybody wants to win. So far, it looks like Michael van Gerwen. I'm sure you've all heard of Michael van Gerwen. It looks darts on to win, if I'm honest with you. I like that little reference, I'm sure. Been averaging over 100 for the past couple of games. But then you've got the likes of Mervyn King, he's not up and coming. He's been around for years, but just this year seemed to be upping his game to the next level. Right. He's playing Gerwin Price next, I believe. Yeah, he's got Gerwin Price next. Gerwin Price is the one I support out of the dart players. He's had a tough start. He's had 2 tough games. First one, 3-2 against Lewis. He just scraped it, and then he played bowling last night. That was just scraping it as well. But again, his finishing is just unbelievable at the minute.
Yeah.
But I think the one everybody's talking about is called Dirk van Dijvenbode, if I can say that right, or otherwise known as the Aubergine.
Why?
The aubergine.
He's just, honestly, he's mental.
That's
He just comes out, he walks out, comes out with an aubergine.
So the aubergine and the cabbage. What a pair.
I think he'd beat that Steve Bruce, if I'm honest. But if you were going for an outside bet, I think he would probably be most impressive of the tournament so far. He's had a very good start.
Brilliant, excellent. For those that are interested in darts, or Stephen, if you've ever thought about it, Brad's actually got a channel. He's starting a channel where he's tracking his journey through darts, what techniques he's learning, how he's getting on progress-wise, any tips that he finds that you maybe don't see on the professional training videos, little hints that they give away. And he's also on a streak. He won 5 out of 6 bets last night on the darts. So if you want a few tips, give him a follow.
Nice way to turn a £5 into 100.
Yeah, exactly, definitely. And in these times, it definitely goes down well, doesn't it?
I think, honestly, if there's anybody bored at home on furlough or anything like that, buy a dartboard. You can get them for 20-30 quid. That's all I bought that one for. You can play it at home. It's nice and simple. Set of darts can cost you 20 quid, 50 quid all in. Just a nice game just to get started.
That's how you started, isn't it? That's how you started, and now you're still.
Yeah.
Right, so that's gone through. We had obviously a few hiccups with Andy, but what I'm going to do is I've got a couple of questions for each of you lined up, just to test your knowledge. Okay, Andy did have questions. I'll try and add Andy in. I'll try and add him and see if he can hear. If not, then he won't get the questions. Andy, can you hear us?
Yes.
Hey! You can hear us definitely? Yes.
Oh, I can definitely hear you. And I don't cheat either. It's just knowledge.
Right. I tell you what then, before we move on, I was just about to ask some questions. I want to get your prediction on the game and what your thoughts are going to be first. But before you do that, I wanted to ask you a question. You live in Sardinia, that's correct?
Correct.
Which is an island off the coast of Italy. And what's it like? Yes. What's it like getting the Newcastle games over there?
Thank God for the Fire Stick.
Fire Stick.
What can I say?
Do you watch much Italian football?
No, not as a rule, not yet. I mean, we've kind of been about 15 months here, and it's been bedlam since we got here.
Right. I know Cagliari are on the same island as you. Are there any other teams that are in Serie A that are on the island?
No.
Just that. Okay. So that must be interesting because I'm assuming they fly. They must have to fly for every away game.
They do, but it probably takes less time to fly to the mainland, to Milan or Rome or Lazio, than it does to get a taxi from Wallsend to the town.
All right, fair enough.
I think it's about 35, 40 minutes.
All right, okay. So what? Go on then, Andy. Give us your predictions and your thoughts
on the Liverpool game.
Yes, on the Liverpool game, and then if the other half wants to get involved, she's more than welcome.
She just has. Tell them 4-1. No, that's interesting because that depends what game Mr. Bruce decides he's going to play. For my money, when we watched them the other night against West Brom, they were on fire the first few minutes, and when they missed a few chances, their confidence seemed to drop a little bit.
Yeah.
And West Brom started getting into the game.
Yeah.
And that was a totally different match when they started playing football. So I think this is just me, I would play Dwight Gale and Callum Wilson up front. I would play Miggy in behind the two of them.
Yeah.
I'd play Matt Ritchie on the left wing, Jacob Murphy on the right wing. Depending on whether we've got any other fit centre halves, I would move Hayden into the centre of midfield with Matty Longstaff.
Right.
And another 3 across the back if we've got 3 defenders. Nobody knows because we've gone all on the out game thing. I was listening before, even though I had technical difficulties via satellite. The other result of the Sardinian jury. The training pitches, Rafa used to go on about them all the time. He used to say, I want 5G. And I thought it was one of them bloody Chinese masts for the mobiles, so the players could play on them. But apparently it's artificial grass. And ever since I used to work for Freddie Shepherd, so, and you know, when him and John Hall had the club, all this carry-on was going on, and it was state-of-the-art and all that them years ago. It isn't anymore. And we seem to have an awful lot of injuries. And I think Rafa had a kind of point about getting these new artificial pitches in. He seemed to be of the opinion the muscle injuries that we were getting were because of these old pitches. Anyway, back to the prediction. Here we go. If he plays that team and we attack properly and defend properly, everybody's up for it. 4-3. Toes.
4-3.
No chance. No chance.
Yeah. No. If we attack, if we learn to attack, don't care. What the BS says. If we learn to attack,
I think you must have already had a few.
Don't forget, they're pairing at the back on you.
Yeah. Well, it's Williams. Fabinho is expected, and
he's got a groin strain, though, isn't he?
No, Matip's just picked up an injury.
Right. He's out.
But Williams is expected to be in.
So you play with speed. Play with speed through the middle.
I could see us winning a penalty at some point in that game if we do attack them, like we did Man City. The chances that we got against Man City when we attacked, I think those kind of chances could win us a penalty in that game. But at the same time, if we start a Yedlin, if we think about it realistically, I think what you said sounds good, Andy, and I wouldn't mind saying that. To be honest, I'd love to go out all out and just think, you know what it is, rather than going out with a defeated attitude. Just think, let's take the game to them and go for it, because I think that could work. But if it doesn't, I've got a feeling it'll be Ritchie or Lewis on the left back and Yedlin right back. And I think if you've got Yedlin right back, he's going to give away a penalty. He's too clumsy. Absolutely clumsy for me.
I think he's not up to the scratch. I think he's found in every game. Ever since, like when he first came, he didn't look too bad, but he was playing in a different team then. Yeah. And then he got a couple of injuries, and then he come back, and he just looks. You know, when that left winger turns him, every time they get in behind him and turn him, he always looks as though he's just ready to go. Come here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Definitely.
But I just think he's too ponderous now for the Premier League. But I might be wrong. Everybody's got an opinion.
I think it's probably a good sign that West Brom went from a 1-1 draw with Liverpool, and Liverpool looking shaky, and then they've just been beat tonight off Leeds 5-0. So if that's anything to show, it's more that Liverpool lost focus than West Brom picked up form, maybe.
Yeah.
So that's something to think. Like, I definitely think that if there's a time that we optimise on it and maximise on this opportunity, it'll be against Liverpool, definitely. What I was going to say, so there are lineups. I've got a couple of questions before I do. Chelsea drew 1-1, and we've got a Chelsea fan, Brad, BC Blink 180. He's a Chelsea fan. What do you make of that 1-1 draw with Aston Villa?
where do you even start with it? I personally didn't watch it because the daughter was on, but I have seen the highlights, looked at the stats and everything. But what I seen from the stats, it didn't look too bad. That would look like it dominated them, more possession, more shots, more passes, all of that. But obviously Aston Villa this season, just they're all overperforming, if we're going to be honest with ourselves. Obviously Jack Grealish and John McGinn in the centre. Well, John McGinn's just an absolute player. I don't know if you've watched him fully, but he absolutely bossed the game from what I've seen from the highlights. Most tackles, best passing, everything like that. So I think if it was anybody, it was obviously Lampard's tactics that did let us down. As much as it pains us to see it. But yeah, Villa at the minute, I can't see anybody actually beating them. They play that well.
Yeah, being a Lampard lover, would you give him more of a chance? Would you keep him going?
I think, given his previous history with the club, I don't think he'll get sacked this season. I know a few people are talking about it, and it's up and up on Twitter and stuff like that, but I don't think he'll actually get sacked. I think he would walk before he got sacked. Obviously, he is a new coach. Last season, if you look at where he got, I think he got fourth in the league. With the squad that he had, using all the youngsters, I think he did pretty well. I mean, not that you can compare, but if you compare Liverpool 5 years ago, the squad they had, and where they are now, it is a building process. Obviously, we have got a better squad now than what they did a year into their tenure. But I think in a couple of years, if they do stick with him and keep him going, I think they'll definitely be in a position where battling top two every season.
And are there any of the signings that you made that you don't rate?
I like Werner. He's a very, very, very good player. But I think Lampard at the minute, I've looked at his stats on where he's played both sides, so through the centre and on the left wing. Definitely seems to be better playing through the centre. So I think it was 12 games, 6 goals coming from centre, whereas from the left wing, it was 10 games and only 2 goals.
You've got a question. How do you feel about it?
That little flick that he done. Definitely aiming for the back stick cross, and it went top bins.
Did you not get he got an assist tonight, didn't he? He assisted Laka.
Oh, did he? He's a good player, to be fair. That's definitely a generational talent. But yeah, obviously.
I don't know why Arteta didn't. I don't know why Arteta didn't start. Like I said, it seems after last game, Saka, and then like I said, recent form. I just keep like I said in the squad, me. If I was him.
Yeah, like I said, he is a good player. I personally think. I don't know what it is with him at Arsenal. I don't know if it's a manager, whether or not it's confidence, but maybe he's getting rotated too much. That's probably the only things I could think of.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Chelsea. Just in terms of what I think about it, currently at the minute, he needs to drop Werner for a couple of games and get Giroud playing. Giroud's got 8 goals in 8 games now, compared to Werner's 4 and 16. Tammy's got 6 and 14 as well, which is pretty decent. But if you go on purely stats and form, you've got to be playing Giroud every game.
Yeah, surely. I think sometimes he gets overlooked because of his age and what he wants to get the younger players in, but you just can't. Where Chelsea are right now, then he's starting Giroud, and Werner needs that little bit of a shake to think, right, I need to screw my head back on, get my head down and keep going. Right, I'm going to move on from there because I don't want to talk about Chelsea too much. I know you love them, but nobody else does. So you can keep that to yourself, okay? Anyway, so yeah, moving on. What I'm going to move on to is the questions part. I've got 2 questions for each of you to test your knowledge. I think John might not do very well at this one, to be honest, because his are both Italian and Newcastle based. Okay, so I apologise for that, Andy. I made yours Newcastle and Italy. So I'll start with you. Okay, Andy. Right, let me have a look. Where are you? Which Italian footballer played for Newcastle United between 2011 and 2015 and currently plays for Roma?
I know that.
Yeah, so do I, but hang on a second. Hang on.
So which Italian footballer?
Good luck, guy.
Played for Newcastle United between 2011 and 2015 and currently plays for AS Roma.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Ask your wife.
No, it's just,
You can phone a friend if she's still your friend after saying that we're going to win 4-3.
No, but he was a right back, wasn't he?
Oh, everyone dropped out there for a second, but you're back. Did you give me an answer there? Did you give me an answer there?
Was he a right back?
Right back. Yeah, it was right back, wasn't he?
I know how it is, but I can't remember.
Oh, he was left, wasn't he?
Left back.
I think he was left.
Right. So, if you don't know, Stephen, what do you think? Who is it?
Santon.
Davide Santon.
Yeah. David. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah. Good, Andy. So that's 0 points for that. Well done.
No surprise. Like a predict, man.
Next one. Which Italian footballer who plays left back for Newcastle on loan in 2019? Which Italian footballer who plays as left back signed for Newcastle on loan in 2019 and only played one game for Newcastle?
Oh, you naughty boy.
Only played one game.
Not making this easy, are you?
Oh no! I've given you one easy
I'm
one.
not going on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire now.
Any idea?
I don't know.
It's hard when they've only played one game. It's hard. Right, Stephen.
Antonio Barreca.
Antonio Barreca, it is correct. 2 for Stephen. Ding ding. Well done, Andy. You've tried. It wasn't good enough, unfortunately.
I did try.
But at least you got your mic working at the end.
It's not the
That's
first.
all that matters.
Yeah.
Right. I'll move on to the current champion, Stephen, and I'll ask his. So, since this isn't easy, well, it might not be, maybe for you. Since John Joe Shelby joined Newcastle in 2016, how many goals has he scored?
How many goals has he scored?
Yeah. Get off Google.
I'm not on Google.
He's using his toes.
Yeah, he's got a tablet at his toes. How many has he scored since he's joined in 2016? Give me 10 seconds.
30?
How many?
30?
30. One of those numbers is right.
Can't be 30, surely.
It's not 30. It's actually 13.
13, no. I thought he scored more than him, man.
Unfortunately, no. He's one of those players, isn't he? He contributes sometimes. I don't think... I'm guessing you're not a fan of him, are you, Andy? John Joe Shelby?
Who's that?
John Joe Shelby.
Depends what game you're playing, and it depends on the opposition. He's too slow. He's a great passer of the ball, but he's not mobile enough for me.
I think against teams like Liverpool, there's no point playing him because I don't think we'll have enough chances to maximise on the passes that he'll make. Maybe, I don't know. I might be wrong. We'll see what Steve Bruce does. Steve Bruce knows best.
Does he really?
Right, next question, Stephen. In the 1995-96 season, who was the only Belgian footballer who played for Newcastle United?
Albert.
Correct. 3 out of 4 for Stephen. Excellent.
Yeah.
So, Brad, this means the 2 questions I've got for you, technically you can't win. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because there wasn't a prize. So, this one should be easy. What is Adrian Lewis's nickname?
Jackpot 180. Or the jackpot.
Jackpot, well done. That's 1 point. That was an easy one. I think I went a bit too easy on you. Next one. So, you said you're a Lampard lover. How many goals did Lampard score for Chelsea?
I don't think it's quite 200. I could be wrong. We're talking Premier League or all overall?
Overall.
Could be in the 200s then. I'm going to go 222.
Oh, absolutely not. It was 211. So you weren't that far off. You weren't that far off. 211.
I was thinking something like that.
I'm sure it was about 180 Premier League ones.
Yeah, and then the rest taken up to 211. Well, that was not too bad. I guess I don't think I would have been that close, to be honest. So yeah, that's your question. Stephen, you're the champion for tonight's questions. Thank you, panel, for joining me. Andy, who got here from Italy. You've got Stephen, Geordie Talk. Make sure to give Geordie Talk a subscribe on YouTube. And if you're watching now, subscribe to In2XtraTime. And that'll go a long way to helping us both. Stephen on Twitter is @StephenNUFC. And we've got Brad in the bottom right, who is basically Blink 180. Follow him for darts tips, Chelsea talk, or if you just want to watch the journey he's making from darts beginner through to pro. And you'll already see from some of the content he releases, he's fantastic and a good lad. Right, thank you, guests, for joining me, and I hope that get you on another. I hope to get you on another show in the future. Take care.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.